Hello and welcome, everybody. I am here kind of for a reintroduction of myself and what my channel is intended to represent. So I'm Lady Virgo, and I am not the same person that I was at the beginning of 2023. I hope that you are not neither. I hope that you've grown. I am recording this on the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. So this is our longest evening of darkness. It's a reminder that through the darkness that the light can prevail again, and that it will be. So in the northern hemisphere, this being the longest evening, we're going to start building into more daylight. So I love symbolism. I love healing. I love growth. And I hope you do too. So, reflections, because in the northern hemisphere, with it being the darkest, longest evening of the winter, it's a time of inner reflection on the things that we have overcame throughout the year. We won't get into the calendar and how that's been manipulated, so we're just going with symbolism today. So reflections and deep inner time of reflections, right? Symbolically, it's a great time to light the sacred fire within us, our spirit of fire. And really, it's kind of funny because in the West, I don't know about other cultures because I haven't lived in other cultures in this lifetime, but it's became such a time of over consumerism. It's became a time of, yes, people gathering, which is wonderful, but I feel like we've kind of missed the mark on the true symbology of what it should be. A lot of people are into the hustle and the bustle right now, and really it's an inner reflection time. So keeping it very small and sacred and intimate within my sacred home, within my home, is very important to me. And when you're going against the traditional norms, perhaps, of ways that you've, always done it, don't be surprised to have a little bit of backlash from those that you are saying no more to. So, very deep, reflecting upon the year. What have you gone through? What have you transformed from? Hopefully you're in growth and transformation and reflecting on how much you've grown. And really, ultimately, at the end of the day, in this mad, fast-paced society, where so many have lost their way, right? Whether it be numbing out things that they're sensitive to or trying to project their pain onto others. And I believe, I don't know what month it was when I started my little playlist here on the channel called The Inferno. It was about that, about doing and going with the flow of society and getting burned in the flame. It's about people not listening to their own inner compass. And I said on there in the early spring that I believe we were going to start seeing more of the darkness be revealed by the light. And I was specifically talking about the energy of narcissism. And lo and behold, it became what they're saying is a hot topic, but really it's not a hot topic. It's not something that's trending. It's something that's being revealed, whether it be on the micro level or the macro level, with those that are living in the heart, the truth, the way, seeing or being the victim of people who are not being authentic, people who are being deceptive. And they maybe be thinking they're getting one over on you, but really what it is them not being authentic with themselves. And so the importance of healing thyself and being authentic so that you're not leaving people in the aftermath, the ripple effect of the lower vibrations, right? Lies, deception, betrayal, leaving behind and shining the light on these people who are dog eat dog, step on you to think they're elevating themselves. I don't know what year it was I started my channel, but there's been a lot of metamorphosis within me. And where I want to head to with my channel is really not going to change much, other than I am going to be, I do have somebody working on a website for me. I do integrate astrology. And however, I do want to make clear with all of my perhaps new subscribers or people who have been with me that it's always God first with me. I utilize astrology for like guidance, not necessarily predictions. And the reason being within myself is knowing that we have free will. So you can sit, say, two Virgos next to each other, and that would be just talking about their sun sign, right? And they can be completely different. One can be carrying out the high vibration, which is in being of service and attention to detail and being very good with constructive criticism. And then you can have one that is, just downright unorganized, overly critical, or just messy and chaotic, right? With that busy mercurial mind that we Virgos have. So what I'm saying is, to me, it's always God first. And I am a student of astrology. I have been probably since about 2014. And so that's something that I'm always learning and growing on. And a lot of it is intuitive with me. And I'd also like to share that ultimately at the end of the day, you as a being have free will, whether you want to play out the low vibe or the high vibe of each of those archetypes, right? Because we are made up of all four elements: earth, water, fire, air, and we're also made up of all of the 12 signs. To me, I utilize astrology for a guidance system. It's a snapshot of the exact time and latitude and longitude of where we are born, and it blows me away. That's why I'm so fascinated by it. It does not replace the fact that I know that the light, the God within me, we are all sparks of that, and that it's our free will at the end of the day that determines our will. So that I want to get out of the way. And pardon me. I do want to express the importance of us living in our authenticity. I'm a natural healer. I'm a natural, as a sun sign Virgo, show that I care through acts of service. And I also need to kind of be in nature every day. It's where I feel most connected to the divine, to God, creator, universe, whatever you'd like to call it. And I'm also a rising Sagittarius, so my level of optimism, no matter what kind of arrows have been flung at us in our lifetime, I would like to share with you that you and I both have the opportunity to be overcomers of that. I believe in reincarnation. I believe that we're here to live and learn. And I also feel like the importance of having not only a reverence within ourselves of knowing that we are divine children of Creator, but also our relationships show us and mirror to us the most significant part. It can be lessons and blessings. I'll never forget my spiritual teacher and mentor, addressing that, and then just me having this light bulb moment about how our relationships So I don't know how long it's been going on, but many times the ones that we believe are closest to us also have the ability to be the ones that deceive us the most, that hurt us the most. And so I think it's important, I know it's important for us to really know who we are in our authenticity and to trust our God-given intuition, our instincts when we are in relations with others, because there seems to be a huge, I don't know, I believe in revelations. How many years that last, I don't know. I don't believe it in a sense of how we've been taught in history of what it is, but to me, revelations to be revealed. What does that mean? It's basically truth, lies, truth, deception, dark, light. And so being able to have that balance within ourselves so that we're calling in relationships that are actually truly loving. Because I want to say this, and I knew it wasn't going to be just me. There's too many people that are pretending to be somebody they're not. And then they get in relations or situations with other people, and one or the other ends up getting, completely deceived and fooled and hurt. And it's not okay. It's never okay to do that, because ultimately, as the oneness that we should be being, when you're hurting somebody else, you're ultimately hurting yourself. So if you can't be true to you, you can't be true, and you have no business getting somebody else involved with you. And I know this because I've spent almost the majority of this year, 2023, alone. And surprisingly, I haven't done a video in probably like a month. And the reason I haven't is because I've had nothing to say. It's been all inner work going on within me. But I'm telling you, in that darkness, like we're talking about today, the darkest night of the evening in longest night of the evening in the winter, in the northern hemisphere with the winter solstice, within that darkness can be the prime grounds for growth, for seeds or whatever's germinating within you, reflecting upon the year, that's the things you've overcame, the things that you've been through, and just keeping within you knowing that although right now you may not see the plant blooming up out of the dirt, this inner germination that's happening within you, there's a purpose, there's a bigger purpose to why you've gone through the things that you've gone through. And back to the authenticity and healthy boundaries, there's going to be always takers. But if there's people out there that you've been with, no matter what or which relationship it may be in, whether it's family dynamics, like right now, there's a lot of people going to the same traditional family functions, and everybody's been just living out the program, brushing dirt under the rug, not facing and communicating the things that aren't necessarily pleasant to talk about all the other 364 days of the year. But yet we're all going to go break bread together. So if your body says no, and you go against that, that's automatically a friction. Doesn't mean you have to be a cold-hearted bitch or dude or whatever, but when you're doing that and creating that friction, when you're somebody who's wanting to, and a lot of us, I don't know, old souls maybe, whatever, are wanting to change the ways and the tradition and the lineage, like a lot of us being the lineage holder, wanting to change the patterns and the family traumas and heal them. And every family has them, right? Alcoholism, narcissism, which is also not something you're born with. It's something that's created through always the mother. And something I learned over this year was that narcissistic personality trait that is out of control is always created by the mother. And abuse can also be not only the typical things that we're used to of abuse, whether it be physical, emotional, but it can also be over coddling a child, over smothering a child where they don't have healthy detachment from the mother. It can be placing your child as an idol, right? And making your child a golden child. I've learned through my deep studies over this year, the psychology of it is not good. And we're seeing it. I don't know if it's more than we used to see, but it's being revealed anyway. And there's a lot of people that are creating children to be very selfish, to be creating children to be superficial, to be placing a child in a role where they're never going to be able to meet the expectation of the mother, idolizing them, parentifying them. And as I've learned through a wonderful professor, Sam Vatkin, it is always the mother that creates the unhealthy, narcissistic personality traits. And the ripple effect from one person who is playing out the narcissistic personality, the ripple effect they cause on so many people is just so damaging that it's important that, if not now, when, for us to call it out, for us to continue to speak truth, for us to draw a line in the sand like Christ did and says no more, or flip a table when we need to. So the introduction to myself today on the solstice and my deep inner reflections are, my channel's still headed in the same direction. I've been very vocal on my channel about being real and sharing things that maybe perhaps other people are scared to step forward and share. And so I hope that you find it healing here. And I'm going to draw some card messages in this solstice energy. I hope you're doing your healing and your inner work so that you can bring forward your best version of yourself, not pretending. This is something that the narcissist will do, is portray a different character depending on who they're around. I am who I am no matter who I'm around. But I'm going to have healthy discernment, and I believe that's very important that we all do, because when we start feeling something within us that's off, but we've been manipulated to believe that we can't trust our own selves, wow, do things get very out of balance and jaded. So I want to thank you for joining me on your healing journey, on my healing journey. And I do believe that when we literally ask, like when we seek, like God Creator's always there, but unless we speak it, and this is the thing that I've learned since 2014 when my son passed away, your prayers and your talking to God, Creator of the universe, doesn't need to be formal. When you lay your heart out there openly, honestly, real, there's a power in that, because your answers will come to you. Your signs, your symbols, whatever it is, however Creator decides that you're going to be awake to receive those answers, to receive that guidance, to receive that inner strength that we've all got within us. There's something very powerful in that. So I believe we are birthing a new us, or we have the opportunity to. And, you know, we're in this solar cycle 25 with the sun. And a lot of people, if you're not awake to it and you don't know that we're connected to the sun as the earth as well as our bodies, there's more light, there's more energies coming in. On December 14th, we had the most powerful solar flare than we've had since 2017, I do believe, and it was an X-class flare. I had friends here, and we were sitting at the dining room table having beautiful conversations, and I was like, boom, I could feel it, and I'm like, we need to go outside. Sure enough, my friend also felt it too once we were outside, and So my whole point of that is we are changing, whether you want to or not, be pushed, pulled, or dragged. The planet is changing. It's up to us. I don't believe in this big, huge awakening I don't know who shared it today, but I totally resonated with it. There's not going to be no magical pill or magical burst from the sun that wakes people up. It's one person at a time, willing to be authentic, willing to go diving deep into the things they've carried, right? The crosses they've carried like Christ, and be able to face your shadow, hold yourself accountable, right? That's another trait that the narcissist, they will not hold their actions or themselves accountable. They're running. They're seeking out validation in other people. They're not holding their energy accountable and growing and evolving. They're repeating the pattern. That's where we as the truth speakers and the ones who are trying to be their authentic self can really pave the way. And it just happens one person at a time to be able to do that. So no matter what you've been through, please continue to be authentic. I've seen so many blessings, even though I've been in a lot of things happening within 2023. Remember to keep it simple, right? Keep taking the narrow path, even when we can see with our two eyes that our society is just headed for complete chaos and fuckery, right? Keep taking the narrow path. I know a lot of us have been feeling very lonely, which is very odd for me because I've never had an issue with being alone in the physical. However, this is coming up a lot with the healers and whatever you want to call it, chosen ones on their path of enlightenment, remembering that we've had these feelings of feeling lonely. So continue to work on yourself, and your tribe will continue to find you. I know the friends that I've mingled with that came to my home, I was just to get a real hug from them and meet them finally in the flesh was like the best. And never underestimate a real hug and what that does for your healing. So you know who you are if you're listening, and I love you. We're going to clear the energy of the room. I totally appreciate your energy exchange of love here. And we're going to draw some messages to see what else. Again, remember that it's always God first with me, but I love to utilize the astrology for guidance and also my beautiful card messages that come through so that we can have encouragement on our journey, right? Because this earth plane, the school of hard knocks, freaking relationships that are out of balance and out of harmony. Nope, I got a nice moral compass. And I will say this too before I clear our energy. And it's very sad, and it's very sad to me. I ran into somebody that I worked with in the courthouse a month ago or so, that I worked with in the school system. And I've always liked this gentleman, adored him like on a soul to soul level. And he was discussing with me there that it's just unbelievable to him all day. Divorce, 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 divorce. And it saddens him. It saddened me to hear it. And what that boils down to is two people not taking sacred vows, sacred exchanges. And this don't even have to be in marriage, right? Utilize this as a metaphor. You're in this relationship with somebody, whether it be your mother, a significant other, your work relationship, and there's one person who is just in it for them, don't take anything of value, don't value you as a person and what you bring to the table, and they eventually just, oh, well, let's just go get a divorce. It's so sad. And I don't care what goes on in this current society, which is just getting more outlandish. Just because this person's doing it doesn't make it right. So before you get into a sacred union with anybody, whether it be a friend, whoever, Be genuine. This Earth School of Hard Knocks can be hard enough without having the shenanigans and the false vows or false exchanges with others, right? So just be real. Like, what is wrong with being real? The society seems to be just on a trajectory of everything is backwards. Everything is wrong is right, right is wrong. It's so messed up. Don't follow that wide path. Keep taking the narrow path, right? So I just want to thank God, Creator, Source, for being with us, always being with us. We seek you every day, all day. We give thanks for this life experience, no matter how challenging it can be at times. We ask for your strength as things become more pressurized. We ask for great discernment as things become so jaded. And we give thanks for having true love and compassion within our hearts. And we give thanks in advance for your continued support, your continued love. And so it is. Nice deep breath in. Breath is life. Take it all the way down to your belly. One more. Take a nice deep breath all the way down into the belly. On the exhale, release any density, any stress, any grief. We give thanks for clarity, for balance. We give thanks on this solstice, in the longest night of darkness, to know that there is light and that sacred flame can be lit with optimism for a fresh new day and a fresh new start. Wow, I needed that probably more than I even realized. So, thank you for allowing me to reintroduce myself. 2023 can fuck off, really, to be honest with you, but I'm glad. I've always been able to be an overcomer, but you know, I've been exhausted, not just physically, but I've been just literally talking to God like I'm exhausted. I have a will to go on. I know I have a bigger purpose to be here. And part of that is being in service. So I hope that if you did find my channel that you stay. We've all been through many different things and a lot of obstacles and a lot of pain. And so I believe wholeheartedly that if you're tuned in to listen to me, we're supposed to be the ones drawing the line in the sand where we say this family lineage of whatever low vibration pain, that it's carried on generation after generation, that I will be the one to try to end that cycle and that I won't close my heart off to genuinely be in relationships that are actually 100, reciprocal, loving, where you're revered. So what I'm saying is don't allow your heart to be hardened, because the low vibrations of envy, jealousy, comparison. So from the Mother Mary messages, which message would be best suited for all of us who are tuned in to listen to? And if you've noticed as well, I was talking about the solar flares and the changes that we're going through, the sun. Our nervous systems, your pets probably are showing you as well. Being a little more clingy than what they're normally possibly, or being restless as you are. I got one laying here staring at me right now. So from the Mother Mary miracle, I trust in God to know the perfect solution of this situation. So no matter what comes through, keep the miracle within yourself. Speak to God. I'm telling you, it is so powerful. And even though my faith wavers, having faith in miracles is so beautiful. It is so powerful, being able to witness them, to be open to receiving them. I trust in God to know the perfect solution to any situation. So if you're going through hard things, if you're processing things, and you need a little bit of light, a little bit of spark, a little bit of guidance, keep your faith in miracles, right? The unseen realms that are right here. The simplicity of a bird landing on your deck that's just, sticking out for you, or whatever it is, heart-shaped cloud. Never underestimate the miracles that are around you, no matter what situation you're going through. My prayer for you is, if you have an addiction, that you overcome it. If you have something that's so burdensome to you, that I hope that you can overcome it. We all go through the dark night of the soul. I've been through more than one in my life. It is deep. It is dark. It is excruciating. Keep your focus. Keep your eye on the prize. And just like the solstice being in the northern hemisphere, the darkest night, there's always the light shining, right? The sun's going to start building where we're getting longer daylight. In the southern hemisphere, it's the opposite. They're in outer. It's the planet balancing, right? And so think of that within yourself, and the metaphor of that. So, from the Moonology manifestation, what messages to keep an eye on the miracles, no matter what you're going through. Find the light. Remember the light that you are. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Too many. Too many. Too many, Vale. Oh my goodness, am I fumbling? So what do we have? We have Mercury retrograde. So our communication, our thinking, that's another slow down, review, reflect. We're building into a full moon in Cancer, I think a day after Christmas, which is funny because Cancer is about the home, the mother archetype. Full moon in Libra, find balance. So, perfect for the solstice message for today and my reintroduction. Find balance. If you're giving, and you're not reciprocating, it's out of balance, whether it be within you, whether it be in relationships. It's a culmination. It's a balancing of the scales. It's about justice within yourself. What is your equilibrium? Find balance. When we find balance and harmony within ourselves, we can call in the same type of balance, equality, love, reverence. Libra is 7th house, relationships, also is open enemies. What does that mean? being in relationships with somebody that's not authentic. So allow this time to come into fruition. Full moons are always about a culmination. Allow that to fuel within yourself. I am worthy, right? It's ruled by Venus. What do you find beauty in? Simplicity for me. Knowing my worth, which is just pounding this planet. Oh my goodness. Worry, doubt, fear. Allowing somebody else to determine your worth. We have to know who we are. We have to know who we are. No, don't grab my hand. Let go. She's being bad. Okay, we're going to do an angels and ancestors message, and then we are going to close this up. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Balance. Miracles. Trust that God knows a perfect solution to any situation you may be going through. What did I say earlier in the video? The power of asking. This is the thing with people who've identified just with their personality and that they don't see the bigger picture, that they are more than that. They turn from God. They turn from that inner knowing that they are part of a bigger picture. They become selfish. They run strictly out of ego. Ego's not a bad thing. Let's get that straight. We're not demonizing our ego or personality. Our ego is what stops us from getting ran over by a car or whatever. The ego out of control is not good. That is the selfishness I believe they talk about in the Bible, even about men and women will become lovers of self. Like dog eat dog, right? From the angels and ancestors, unleash the wild within you. The she-wolf. Let's see what this message says. A little dark in here, but I'll try my best. She-wolf. How beautiful is this? I feel like it's just that inner calling, that sacred flame within you. Look at how beautiful this image is. Let your wild side up and out. Unleash your talents and your desires. The she-wolf is a powerful shamanic soul who has half wolf and half woman. She is the alpha female who is not afraid to stand out from the crowd. In this case, the pack. What did I say? Keep taking the narrow path no matter what you see in the society where they're just saying this is okay and this is okay. Don't be one who follows the pack. Follow the narrow path, so to speak, as it says in the Bible. She's wild, unfiltered, and untethered. She encourages you not to be trapped by the limiting factors of weaker members of the pack or those who are trying to hunt you down because you have gifts they don't like or understand. This is something right now that people are going to see. I've said this at the beginning when I started the Inferno podcast that has its separate playlist here. If you haven't tuned into that and you're new today, please do give it a listen. These people who have forgotten who they are in Creator, God, universe, whatever you like to call it, and they are running strictly out of ego. They're living in darkness. They're open to entity possession. They will try to destroy your light because they're intimidated. It is the spirit of the Jezebel. It is the spirit of envy. It is the spirit of jealousy. This message is very symbolic right now. Don't allow those that are jealous, envious, to trick you, to hunt you, to take you down. Keep shining in your light. She represents the energy of the wilderness and the unknown and encourages you to be free and unchained and go beyond boundaries. Release your animal energy within you and track down what you need to do to express your true self. Talking about authenticity. You are being rewilded at this time, guided to reconnect with your rebellious heart, the part of you that likes to break boundaries and go beyond them completely. If you've been holding back on your hopes and dreams, you're being encouraged to chase after them now. Let the wolf energy within you help you track down what direction you want to go, and don't let any traps or hunters get in the way of your freedom for your growth. The life you want is here. As I've spoken about in my Inferno podcast that has its own playlist here, are you feeding the good wolf or are you feeding the bad wolf? Those two paths, the narrow path, the wide path. So it's all about decisions. It's asking us to find our balance within that, within ourselves, then our relationships. And don't keep your pains being something that hardens you, that closes you off. Allow for miracles to happen, for balance to happen, and that is where the growth happens. And let's be honest, we're in a time where we need to know our genuine selves. We need to go outside of the box. And this is true, what I've said too on my channel. Narcissists prey on people whose light intimidates them. They also can go into the vibration with another selfish, lying, cheating narcissist as well. But that's a whole nother karmic thing that you don't want to, you take yourself out of that. And as I'm getting major ear ringing right now, let's talk about that for a minute. As I was talking about the sun and this major X-class flare, solar cycle 25 all through 2024, this light within us is going to continue to become stronger. What happens when the light becomes stronger, more intense, things become more visible. We're going to see these splits happening. I said it on my channel early on. It's already happening, that it wasn't just me. That comes through in relationships, right? Be authentic. Remember that relationships are not supposed to be just easy and flowing, but when two people come together, whether it be friendship or whatever, growth, expansion, being able to talk about the things that aren't necessarily easy to talk about, but always be authentic and always be transparent. Because if you're a deceiver, if you're a liar, or you're lying to yourself, that's already low vibration. So let's do an I am affirmation for this reflections of the solstice energy. Thank you so much for being here with me. I am. I am that I am. I am as God, how God has created me. I am. God is. We are. I am. Remember that. Can't go wrong when you do that. Much love to you guys, and until the next time, thanks for tuning in.